Hi, it's Angie from Canterbury Trails Farm, and today I am making kale powder. This is a great way to use up your kale, or if you particularly don't like the taste of kale, or you just have a bumper crop. Our kale grows really well in the winter, and I don't mind it mixed in with salad, but I'm not particularly fond of the fresh taste. So another way you can do it is you can dehydrate kale and make it into a powder, and then you can sprinkle it in with soups and stews and eggs and all kinds of things. Basically anything that you would use parsley or even oregano on, you can use kale powder. So I'm just putting some in I just pick it as it comes up so the squirrels don't get it, and the rabbits around here. And I'm just going to put a layer of it in my dehydrator. And you can also let this air dry. It takes about, depending on your climate and whether or not you have a lot of humidity, it takes about 2 to 5 days to let it air dry to a crispness that would work for the powder. But I find the best way to do it is in your dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can put it on a cookie sheet covered with foil in your oven at about 200-250 degrees. It takes about 5 hours. You can crack the door if you want to keep an eye on it a little bit more, but it should do okay. You just got to keep your eye on that constantly, so you don't want it to burn. In the dehydrator there's really no burn factor, but you don't want it to just disintegrate, so you want to make sure you do it till it's crisp. So we'll come back when it's done dehydrating, and then we'll look at how we're going to make it into a powder. When your kale is crispy, it is time to stop the dehydration, and you can hear it. You can hear it's very crispy. So I'm just going to put this down in this jar. You can use a spoon or knife or any kind of thing that will fit into your jar, and any jar will work. Mason jar. I think this is an old spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce or something. And I'm just going, it's so crispy and dry that all you have to do is pound on it. And as I do that, the bigger stalks they won't pound up, so I just pull those out of there. Now if you wanted to use the stalks, you just slip some scissors down in there and cut them up smaller. You can also run this through it like a food ninja or one of the baby bullets or whatever if you wanted to. You wanted it very fine, but it's making a pretty fine powder. So that's all I do is kale powder, and I just use a few of these moisture absorbers. I throw them in there to keep it from clumping. And you could put if you wanted to make a sprinkle top, you can use a mason jar and use a piece of either foil or cardboard and poke holes in it and then put it down under your rings, and you'd have your own shaker. But I tend to just use this like a tablespoon of it or something in my cooking. So that is kale powder. It's really simple and it's really easy to make. It's a good way to use up all that extra kale you might have if you can't eat it and you don't want to throw it out, or you don't have something else that will eat it. Just dehydrate it and use it in your soups and your stews and anything else that you would sprinkle parsley on. That's what I would do with the kale. So this has been Angie from Canterbury Trails Farm. Thanks for joining us. Bye.